All right. So let's see what the affirmation is for you guys. This is what you guys need to be looking at and how to look at this in a positive. It says that today I will gain a new awareness of those areas where I need healthier boundaries. I will release my naive assumption that the other person is always right. I will exchange the view for trusting and listening to myself and setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. Okay. So one thing that I do know about you guys is that, you guys usually are very, very fixed on the way that you view things, the way that you do things. But I'm feeling like you guys might be struggling a little bit with some aspects of how people are viewing you. All right. And maybe you guys have been trying to, open up your mind to other perspectives on things. But, and that is very, very great. But we're saying that, you do need to trust and listen to yourself and maintain those healthy boundaries. So for some of you, you do need to open up your mind to have the ability to bring some other perspectives in, but you also need to be, really true to yourself as well. So it is good to have that healthy balance, to be open to receiving and, also acknowledging some things within yourself. So let's take a look at this is what's going on in your mind. Let's take a look at how your mind can really contribute to some things deeper inside of the mind and affect parts of your body. All right, so I am using I call it my Mona Lisa deck. This is my Mind and Body Makeover deck, but it does have a picture of Mona Lisa on the front, so I always call them my Mona Lisas. But for some of you, you guys are dealing with some form of rejection, abandonment, or betrayal in relationships. Now, this could be in love relationships, romantic ones, or this could be friends or family. But for a lot of you, for the collective, I feel like this is pertaining to relationships. But the healthier way to look at this is that I now learn from past disappointing relationships so I can release the anger and sadness and move on to more fulfilling ones, okay? So for some of you that are experiencing some recent loss from a relationship or some losses pertaining to a relationship, could be, financial, maybe someone has rejected you or abandoned you or betrayed you in, financial reasons, or for any reason at all, you're going to want to be very, very mindful to just learn from, those situations and release any anger or sadness. Because what can happen is you can start to experience a lot of moodiness, a lot of depression, hypertension, and this could also cause a lot of headaches and stomach aches, okay? So if you're experiencing any of those things, it might be contributing from, these feelings that you're having. Now, the other thing that we're looking at here is that not feeling valuable unless you're taking care of someone else's needs, okay? It's so ironic because I have a dear friend of mine who is a Taurus, and, we had a discussion, and he really, really overgives in the material, financial, really trying to support someone, when he cares about them. And he does tend to get into a lot of situations where he's taken for granted. And so I feel like for some of you, this is the same thing that you might be going through. One of the things that we did look at is that because he has a hard time giving himself emotionally because of past rejections and disappointments in other relationships, he does tend to give monetarily. And, so you're going to want to be aware of that, because people will tend to want to be with you or keep you close for more so of what you can do for them versus how they feel about you as a person. But the positive way to think about, you know, trying to take care of someone else's needs and not feeling valuable unless you can do that is that you can love with wisdom, nurture with support, and also do the same for yourself, okay? So just making sure that you have that, again, maintaining healthy boundaries. I think for some of you, you know, this goes with, you know, the boundaries of giving, having that healthy giving. And there was 2 other signs that had that. But this here, the maintaining boundaries, can kind of speak to people really getting you into a space where they could possibly be manipulative or suggestive as to, you know, this is what I really need. This is really, you know, what I want. And if you can't provide that, then, you know, ... You know, you guys fill in the blank. So again, however this resonates. But we're going to take another look here. We're going to sneak peek into what your soul has to say. All right. Now, also with this, not feeling as valuable unless you can do something for someone, this can really affect your self-esteem and your confidence, and it could hinder you from being creative and focused. All right, so really look at this, Taurus, because this is what could be blocking you. And for some of you, you're finding it very hard to make decisions, okay, because there's a lot of mind clutter that you're trying to get through, the disappointments and the rejection, betrayal, and just not feeling as valuable as you should. So let's see what your soul has to say about all of this. Spirit, we thank you for your messages. We thank you for your guidance. Please give us the eyes to see and the wisdom to know what is going on in Taurus's soul. Okay. Looks like we got a few cards here. You got the Trilogy of Light. You got the Sorrow card. And Emergence. Okay. So let's take a look at this. So this is us taking a look at your soul level here, and really getting some insight on how all of this is, you know, really affecting your soul, your space deep down within. So I really want to look at sorrow first, okay? So it says here that all emotions, even painful ones, offer us a gift. Sometimes we don't realize how precious something is until it's gone. Yet consider that nothing is ever truly lost, for in the realm of spirit all exist eternally. The events of this life are but a fleeting moment within our eternal reality. Through this time, your appreciation of friendship and family will deepen. Feel the unconditional love that is around you. On a soul level, we are all united and spiritually connected to all creation. Okay? No one or nothing is ever lost, even if the script we hold says it is. The play goes on, and every sorrow will be filled with happiness. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling that very strongly, that some of you are feeling less valued in a relationship, or there has been a loss of a relationship, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at Trilogy of Light. All right. Okay, it says that be aware that the wheel is set in motion. An abstract idea that you've had floating around in your subconscious is about to surface into your conscious mind. Pay attention to new ideas over the coming days. One of these ideas is the seed for the beginning of something completely new. All right. So we talked about here how some of you may have been feeling like you're losing focus, you know, not being as creative as you used to be or could be. So just knowing that, you know, when we think about sorrow, you know, we're looking at tears being shed. For some of you, this relationship ending was a blessing in disguise, because there is something better for you. There is something here that you need to create, and you haven't really been able to do that or get back to that because your focus has been on this relationship, okay? Or maybe your self-esteem or confidence has been lowered because of the loss of this relationship, or even being in the relationship. There might have been, you know, some stressors that did not allow you to do that. But now you will have the mental space to really bring something new forward in your life. And the emergence card says that it might feel like you're being thrust into unfamiliar territory by the forces beyond your control. And yet it is through the events currently unfolding that your true nature emerges. You tap into new resources of power, confidence, and wisdom. What starts off as daunting and challenging changes, and after a while, all falls into place easily. The end result is a stronger, more confident, and grateful you. Absolutely. This is what we were talking about, you know, your confidence being lost, self-esteem being lowered, you know, all of those things. But, you know, when you're going into unfamiliar territory, when something has ended and you've been in something so long, or, you know, change is coming, a lot of times we, you know, have a hard time transitioning, all right? And things are unfolding naturally, but you need to tap into, you know, the new sources of power and confidence and wisdom, all right? And I do think that this coming to an end is going to allow you to ascend to a higher level, because there was something about this relationship that just no longer served you and really changed you, or, you know, stole something from you, okay? And for some of you, you know, maybe in more ways than one. So let's look at our goddess deck and see what insight they have for us. So we looked at the mind, the body, and the soul, and let's see. Yeah, High Priestess comes out, all right? It says, you have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. So some of you, you guys know this, okay? You know that something here needs to change. And Taurus, we've talked about this time and time again. I think you guys were just trying to find a way to make this change, because for some of you, there were so many other factors that played into this, so it made it very difficult to just break free. But, you know, your soul is saying that, you know that this is what you need to do. And for some of you, you know that this ending of this relationship was coming to an end, or needed to come to an end. So for a lot of you, I don't think that this was too much of a surprise. Some of you may have been in denial for a long period of time. But all in all, Taurus, you know what you need to do, and you know that, you know, this loss, this ending was inevitable, okay? So let's go ahead and look at the Earth Warrior healing message. Let's see what healing message we have for you guys. You guys have been getting the High Priestess for months and months. You guys have a natural tendency to have high intuition. It's just up to you guys to determine if you're really wanting to use it, okay? All right, so what did we get here? We got the Soma from the Galactic Heart. This is the Mayu card. All right, very, very beautiful. Let's take a look at the healing message here. All right. It says that your soul has been going through a deep spiritual feeding process and is growing rapidly. The evidence of this in the outer world will be a sense of expansion of opportunity, reach, connections, and new levels of spiritual experiences. This oracle foretells the welcoming in of a new phase in life. Newborn energies and fertility, whether biological, creative, or psychological, are being stimulated. The oracle indicates that discovery, development, and expression of talents, an increasingly public profile which moves you into the spotlight, can help you fulfill your divine life mission, provided that you keep your inner connection to spirit as the highest priority. This speaks of soul healing around matters of trust, spirit, mother, and abundance. Yes, absolutely. Okay, you guys are going through a spiritual feeding process. For some of you, like I said, this is something you've been knowing for quite some time now. And this is something that needs to happen because there is a new phase of your life coming in. So out with the old, in with the new, and it is very, very uncomfortable, I'm sure, you know, but it's so necessary, okay? So let's take this time to call your spirit guides, the angels that are surrounding you, loved ones that have passed on to the other side. Let's see what direct message they have for you to bring all of this together. All right, calling all spirit guides and angels, loved ones that have passed on, surrounding Taurus. What is it that you would like them to know? Please give us a message of wisdom and knowledge as we appreciate this message. Wow. All right, we're going to take this one. All right, it says, there is always more than one side to an argument. Two sides, if not more, to every story in hundreds of ways to be right, be different, be at odds, and so on. Today we suggest that instead of looking for differences, you find a meeting place of argument and approach this experience with understanding and compassion. Seek common ground to understand how another person thinks or how an alternate plan might be laid. Stay out of judgment too. Observe, discern, but accept that others have different stories, experiences, and journeys, and some people might refuse to remain open to another's point of view. No matter what you've been presented with, a great opportunity to explore a new way of doing things once common ground is reached. You're attracting people and situations that enrich your life and bring you wonderful things to learn. Yes, Taurus. Yes. This goes right back to the maintaining boundaries, okay? Like I said in the beginning of this reading, you know, there are different ways to see things. There's different perspectives. You know, some people are going to provide you with that, being open to listening to those, but still finding your own way through it, okay? You know, letting that guard down just enough to hear other perspectives, but also having some ability to be self-aware, self-accountable, all right? And also being able to discern when people and situations make you feel devalued or abandoned, betrayed, rejected, all of those things, how those things can really, really bring you to a low vibrational state, okay? And knowing what you know about yourself, okay? And really being able to move past that energy. And if things don't work out, just knowing that they weren't meant to, All right. So yes, there's going to be two sides of the stories. There's going to be arguments. There's no need for you to try to prove a point or to prove to others that, you know, you were right and they were wrong and vice versa. All right. So everybody has their own way of thinking. If people don't want to stay, they don't have to stay. All right. It doesn't mean that you're less valuable. If you decide that you don't want to stay, it's not that, you know, you have to feel like, you know, you're going to be a disappointment or you're rejecting someone. And so then you're going to be disappointed and rejected. Because some of you, I feel like it's, you don't want to have that bad karma, okay? But it's all about what you need and what you want in your life and being able to articulate that to others, okay? And having that common ground to say, hey, this isn't working. Or if someone, you know, makes you feel like this isn't working, say, hey, you know, I understand, and be able to walk away, because there are new things coming in for you, really great opportunities. And once you release the people and situations that no longer serve you, then you can attract, like it says here, you know, you will be attracting people and situations that enrich your life and bring, you know, wonderful things to learn.